सही करे, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ डन कर लेते हैं।
बढ़िया करे यार,
पार्टी करेंगे, पार्टी।
हेलो बेटा, तुम लोग यहाँ शिफ्ट हो रहे हो?
मोस्टली आंटी।
सही है। मेरे हस्बैंड है ना, तो इनके कुछ दवाइयाँ चाहिए, वो आप ले आओ। प्रेस्क्रिप्शन। हाँ। कितनी अच्छी बात है, तुम जैसे यंगस्टर्स इस बिल्डिंग में आ रहे हैं। पैसे तो लो। अच्छा, मैं क्या कह रही थी, जब आप मार्केट जा ही रहे हो तो मुरारी की दुकान से एक डबल रोटी और थोड़े अमरूद ले आना, बहुत अमरूद खाते हैं।
अच्छा अमरूद।
अच्छा सुनो, बच्चे जा रहे हैं, तुम्हें कुछ चाहिए? यही लेके आना बेटा।
आंटी जी एक मिनट। पार्टी नहीं, ड्यूटी लगेगी। Housing.com।
Housing.com with maximum owner properties. Housing.com पर से perfect. Download now.
आते हैं आंटी लेके, हाँ सामान आपका।
दूध ले आते हैं हम। ठीक है,
चलिए फुटले।
Hello everyone. Namaskar, Salaam, Sat Sri Akal, Vanakkam. We are back with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. This is India's first real estate focused podcast. It brings to you updates, views and insights about the realty sector, an explainer on a chosen subject, and a deep dive into an industry, trend or topic. You can catch the episode on Housing.com, on the Housing.com app, on earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Ghana.com and JioSaavn. If you missed the episode, don't worry. We have you covered. Wear your headphones or put on the phone speaker. You can listen to this while driving, eating, cooking, jogging, running, walking, chopping vegetables, or basically doing anything else whenever you want, wherever you are. Creative industry professional Meenakshi tells us about her Mera Pehla Ghar Story, Hyderabad emerging as a major property and real estate growth hotspot. Homeowners of stalled redevelopment projects in Mumbai get relief as President signs the bill to amend the MHADA Act. And what are the tax implications on property received as part of a divorce settlement? Details of all these and much more in this episode. Stay tuned. Your first house is always special. The feeling, the experience, the excitement, the emotions, everything is so overwhelming and distinctive. This is true for everyone. In this episode, creative industry professional Meenakshi shares her Mera Pehla Ghar experience with us.
Hi, मेरा नाम मीनाक्षी है और I am an ex-RJ and currently working as a creative solution head. बड़े बड़े कैंपेन्स के लिए एड्स लिखती हूँ। अगर छोटे और साफ सुथरे शब्दों में मैं कहूँ, घर आप सबकी तरह मेरे लिए भी बहुत ज़्यादा खास है, क्योंकि जब घर की बात आती है और स्पेशली जब आप खरीदने की बात करते हैं अपने पैसों से, तो ये आपको एक अलग तरीके का कॉन्फिडेंस देती है। लेकिन मेरी सच में मानिए, जब इस शब्द की जब शुरुआत मेरी ज़िंदगी में हुई तो सैलरी तो कम थी, लेकिन हाँ तब मन बना लिया था कि अपना एक घर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये घर तो पापा का है। जैसे पापा ने अपने बलबूते पे कुछ करके दिखाया, उनको आज अपने ऊपर इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है, ऐसे ही मेरे मन में भी आया कि मैं भी अपना एक घर बनाऊंगी, ताकि कल को जब मेरे बच्चे होंगे तो उनको भी मेरे ऊपर प्राउड होगा और खुद के ऊपर भी होगा। तो ये सपना बस चलता आ रहा था, सिर्फ छोटी छोटी आंखों में बस मेरी ये सपना चलता चला जा रहा था कि हाँ ठीक है ये करना है। और उसके ठीक 10 साल बाद जो है, जब मैं 30 साल की हुई, तो मुझे लगा कि अब दिस इज़ द राइट टाइम। थोड़े फंड्स इकट्ठे कर लिए थे, लेकिन फंड्स जो हैं वो इतने नहीं थे कि घर मिल जाए। तो मेरे लिए काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट हो रहा था। मैंने बहुत सारी सोसाइटीज़ देखी, बहुत सारी जगह देखी, फिर जो जगह पसंद आ रही थी वो मेरे बजट में नहीं थी। तो मुझे लगा एक बार को कि अभी भी बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा, अभी भी उतनी सेविंग नहीं है। बट थैंक गॉड मेरे पापा ने उस वक्त मुझे बहुत हेल्प की। जो मेरा पसंदीदा घर था, मेरी बेस्ट जिस लोकेशन पे मैं चाहती थी, मैं अपने पापा के साथ वहाँ गई, डील क्रैक की, जो कि अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा टास्क होता है कि इतने में करना है, उतने में करना है। बट हाँ, मुझे एक फेयर डील मिल गई, घर लिया। फिर उसमें चाहे ईंटें हो, चाहे वो उसके अंदर वो पेंट हो, कुछ भी हो, आप अपनी मर्जी से चुन चुन के एक चीज़ डिसाइड करते हो, क्योंकि आपका घर ना आपके बारे में, आपकी पर्सनालिटी को दिखाता है। मैं ये चाहती थी जब ये घर बने तो इस घर में एंटर करते हुए सिर्फ मुझे ये फीलिंग ना आए, बल्कि जो लोग इस घर में आए वो ये पहचाने कि ये मीनाक्षी का घर है।
The data and insights for residential real estate sales of 2022 suggest that Hyderabad is emerging as an attractive real estate destination with the development of several micro markets. The latest report by PropTiger.com, the country's leading online real estate brokerage company, says that the new supply in Hyderabad is at an all-time high for the second consecutive year, with 82,801 units launched and registering a 70% year-on-year growth. Majority of the new supply during 2022 was concentrated in the micro markets of Tellapur, Kollur and Gunlapochampalli. 48% of units launched fall in the more than rupees 1 crore price bracket. Demand in Hyderabad grew by 59% year-on-year in 2022. Tellapur, Kollur, Gunlapochampalli, Pupalaguda and Kokapet were most preferred localities by home buyers during the fourth quarter of 2022. Half or 50% of units sold in the fourth quarter of 2022 were of 3 BHK configuration, closely followed by 2 BHK with a 41% share. Similar to launches, maximum units sold were in more than the rupees 1 crore price bracket, or about 44%. We spoke to Ankita Sood, head of research at PropTiger.com, Housing.com and Makan.com to break down the numbers for us. Let's listen in. Hello and a warm welcome, Ankita. Glad to be talking to you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for having me on the show again.
Okay, Ankita, let's talk about the Hyderabad market. And there's some very interesting insights that have come up from the research report of PropTiger. Hyderabad has emerged as one of the hottest growing real estate geographies in the country, both in terms of price points as well as sales and supply volumes. How do you see the future prospects of this market?
Happy to be talking about Hyderabad. It's one of my favorite cities, be it the food, the overall ambience of the city. And definitely, Hyderabad on the national canvas has emerged as one of the hottest cities. Everybody's talking about it. Now, Hyderabad witnessed the economic boom since 2010, right? Owing to its pro-development and business-friendly policies under the Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation Limited, which actually has put the city on a global map. Now, previously a manufacturing hub, the city has superseded, in terms of its service industry as well, and especially the IT industry in Hyderabad. Now, the real estate development we all know is a ripple effect, and residential follows commercial. It has been set in motion by the robust IT industry, which has resulted in significant growth for both commercial, residential, and allied real estate in the past few years. Both commercial and residential have breached the pre-pandemic levels in the city. So residential as well, the commercial leasing of Hyderabad also has breached the pre-pandemic levels. Now, Hyderabad, from the past few years has been giving very stiff competition to Delhi NCR in terms of office leasing as well. And it has been overarching its southern counterparts of Bengaluru and Chennai. Now, if I talk about numbers, yes, the property demand and supply are both at a record level in Hyderabad. And the city took approximately 50% share in the residential sales in the total tally of South India. Now, the total sales of Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. We are absolutely very, very positive about Hyderabad. We believe that the city will continue on its upward trajectory in the coming year as well. Those are the feelers that we get from on ground and also from our online consumer behavior that we see.
Yeah, very interesting. Also, the related question to this is the emergence of Greater Hyderabad, and how do you see Greater Hyderabad as an economic growth driver, where it is attracting both enterprise investments, also generating employment, and most importantly, we can witness a growing disposable income there. So, how do you see Greater Hyderabad as an economic growth multiplier for that region, and do you see the trends holding for the next couple of years?
Absolutely. Hyderabad has garnered a lot of interest in the last few years owing to the phenomenal commercial and residential growth in the city. As I already mentioned, because of its pro-development and business-friendly policies. Several companies have shifted their head offices to Hyderabad, right from Delhi NCR, several companies from Bangalore as well, I would not want to highlight. But very notable companies have shifted their head offices to Hyderabad because of the expanding presence and also the kind of, pro-business opportunities that they see in the city. They are successfully creating a very conducive ecosystem for the service industry to grow. The city has attracted nearly 12 billion US dollars in private equity since 2000 and has received 51% of these investments between 2014 and 2020 alone. So you can see the thrust of the business pro policies that is leading to this impact. Now, several physical and social infrastructure expansions as well, like the metro rail service, the road development projects, the strategic road development plan to ease the traffic congestion, etc. All of these are adding to the attractiveness of Hyderabad going forward as well.
Very insightful, Ankita. And again, thank you so much for taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation, this time to break us down the details of Hyderabad and why it is emerging as a great economic growth multiplier, not just in south of India, but for the entire country as well. Thank you so much, Ankita.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you.
Homeowners of stalled redevelopment projects in Mumbai have got relief as the President has signed the bill to amend the MHADA Act. Around 56 buildings in Mumbai that were declared dangerous and had their redevelopment stuck have got relief, with the President of India signing the bill amending the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development or the MHADA Act 1976, paving the way for the redevelopment, said Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis on December 2. The President signed amendments in the MHADA Act 1976, giving preference to the owner or the tenants of a residential building to submit a proposal for redevelopment once it is categorized by the civic body as dangerous for living. Mr. Fadnavis said, if the residents or owner fail to submit any proposal for its redevelopment, the MHADA has now been empowered to take the project in its hands for the same. According to the amendment, MHADA will be able to acquire disputed redevelopment projects of cess buildings. Until now, the landlord was the owner of the land where the building stands, and MHADA was only the approving authority for repair and redevelopment. However, now MHADA will be able to take over projects where there are disputes. In Mumbai, thousands of homeowners are residing in transit camps of MHADA owing to stalled redevelopment. In a tweet on December 2, Fadnavis thanked the President and the Union Home Minister. He said, quote, "This will bring back on track with fast speed the age-old issues of redevelopment and housing of lakhs of Mumbaikars." A pre-monsoon survey of 2022 by the MHADA revealed there were 21 buildings identified to be extremely dangerous and that people residing in these buildings should vacate. These 21 buildings are more than 80 years old. In all, there are more than 13,000 dilapidated buildings in the city. Every year, before the monsoon, the State Housing Authority carries out a pre-monsoon audit, and based on the outcome, notices to vacate are issued to residents of these dangerous buildings. The residents are given free transit tenements built by the MHADA. What are the tax implications on property received as part of a divorce settlement? During a marriage, assets transferred from one spouse to another do not attract income tax implications because such a transfer is considered a gift. Such gifting is exempted from income tax implications under provisions of Section 56(2) of the Income Tax Act 1961. However, this is only true if no monetary exchange takes place. When a married couple sells such a property, the profit generated from the sale is clubbed with the income of the donor. That is, if the husband gives a property to his wife who later sells the property, the husband would be responsible for paying the tax. However, if a property is received as a part of a divorce settlement, the tax implication regulations would be different. Once the matrimonial bond ends, the family aspect disappears. Hence, if the wife sells a house which she received as a part of the divorce settlement, she alone would be liable to pay the capital gains tax on the profit received. So how is the capital gains tax on property sales calculated? Capital gains are the profit made on property sales. Hence, the profit earned by the sale becomes taxable. To ascertain the amount on which capital gains tax must be paid, the cost of acquisition by the original owner would be considered. This means that if the husband bought the property for Rs 50 lakh, transferred it to the wife at the time of divorce, and the now ex-wife sells it for Rs 70 lakh, the profit earned on the sale would be Rs 20 lakh, on which the wife must pay capital gains tax depending on the holding period. For capital gains tax calculation, the asset holding period is classified as short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. An immovable asset that is held by the owner for less than 24 months is considered short-term. A period exceeding 24 months is considered a long-term capital holding. When the ex-wife sells the property received during the divorce, the holding period would include the total time, starting from the time of original purchase to the time of final sale. This means that if a property was purchased in, say, January 2020, given as a divorce settlement in January 2021, and sold in March 2022, the total holding period would be 26 months. The profit made on such a sale would qualify as long-term capital gains. In case the sale qualifies as a long-term capital gain, the rate of tax would be 20%. This means on a profit of Rs 20 lakh, the seller would be paying Rs 4 lakh in capital gains tax. If the seller plans to invest the profit for buying or building another home, they can claim tax deductions under Section 54 of the Income Tax Law. The same is true if the profit is invested in government-specified bonds. In case the property is sold in less than 24 months of purchase, the profit earned will be clubbed in their annual income and taxed accordingly. That way, your tax liability could be a lot higher unless you are a housewife and have no source of income. That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insight on the real estate industry. Take care and stay safe.